Reports this morning that Police Chief Daryl Gates plans to step down by the end of the year.
A vat of burning oil creates a fiery inferno for firefighters on this Friday, July the 12th, 1991.
Now, Southern California's first two-hour morning newscast. Carlos Amezcua, Barbara Beck, Mark Prisky with traffic and weather. KTLA Morning News.
Good morning. Breaking developments in the status of Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates this morning.
There is word that he may be planning to step down. Gates reportedly told LA City Council members John Ferraro and Joel Wax of his new plan just before leaving for North Carolina early this morning. He reportedly will step down by the end of the year. Ferraro and Wax will hold a news conference later this morning and give us full details on the police chief's decision. Earlier this week, Gates held a news conference to announce he will stay on as police chief. That announcement came hours after the Christopher Commission report recommended that he step down.
The report that Daryl Gates may resign has not yet been heard by many officers at police headquarters. Michelle Ruiz is at Parker Center with a live report on officers' reactions. Michelle?
Barbara, I'm here in downtown in front of the Los Angeles Police Department, where most of the officers haven't heard about the reports of the possibility of Chief Gates resigning by the end of the year. Right now, some officers are here and are dealing with a threatening note and a device that looks like fireworks found under a ladder outside the department. And the officer that found it told me that they're dealing with that right now, and that's the only thing on their mind. However, they didn't hear anything about the reports, but they did talk about how their morale might be affected if, in fact, he does resign. One officer we talked to told us that if, in fact, the chief does resign, it will be a sad, sad day here at the department because they feel that the chief has taken a lot of heat for a fraction of the police department's actions, and that the police department on a whole does support the chief, and that if he does in fact resign, it will be a very, very tough time here. He in fact told me that over the last couple of days it's been very difficult here at the department, and the police officers have not been saying very much about it, but they are expecting to find out what happens later on this morning when the City Council holds their press conference. Reporting live, back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, as we reported a few days ago, Mayor Bradley plans to begin a nationwide search for a new police chief as soon as possible. And one man who criticized Chief Gates' record in disciplining officers has now been stripped of some of his former responsibilities. Chief Daryl Gates says the action is not retaliatory, but Gates has not hidden his displeasure with those who have criticized him. Assistant Police Chief David Dotson will no longer command the LAPD unit that investigates the department's most serious allegations of excessive force. Police Chief Daryl Gates told Dotson that he is no longer in charge of the Internal Affairs Division. Gates says it is not a disciplinary measure, but Dotson was openly critical of the department under Chief Gates, saying, quote, "We have failed miserably in my judgment. We do a very poor job of management and supervisory accountability." At one point on Wednesday, Dotson himself said he did not believe he was in danger of retaliation. But at the same time, Gates was telling reporters he did not appreciate people who had gone behind his back to complain about the department.
If that's the case,